Hello and welcome to M&M Militaria. Today we'll be talking about prongs and how to determine if items are original based off of their prongs. So some of you newer collectors may be wondering what are prongs, and what they are is the pins on the back of visor eagles. They are used in other examples, but they generally are mostly on visor eagles. So what do we look for when we're looking at prongs? I tried in earlier videos I made for this to hold the eagles up to the camera, and it just was not working. You just can't see the details. So we'll have to go skip to the end to see what to look for. And this video falls in line with my other videos, identifying original items. Essentially, what I say is identifying fakes. I'm not showing fake items. I'm showing original items. Besides the stick pin video, I showed a couple fakes on there. But I think for the rest of these, I'm going to show only original items and show you what to look for when identifying this kind of stuff. And the eagle hobby itself, visor eagles are incredibly popular. Sometimes they'll be used to put on visors, but generally more not. So oftentimes you'll find eagles and visor insignia that are missing one or two prongs, and that's actually really common, and it really doesn't affect the price a whole lot. If it has all the prongs, then someone could ask really market value for them. If it's missing a prong, maybe it will cost it $5. If it has no prongs, that's the only time it might cost value, but still, even if it's missing all the prongs, there's always someone out there that will want to have it just for display purposes. So we're going to go ahead and hop in here and show you the different types of prong styles I look for when we'll go and hop into this and show you the different type of prong styles I look for. And once again, I'm not an expert in this hobby. I am merely trying to educate some of you guys and show you some things you can look for when you're out purchasing. And there are a ton of different variety of prong backs, but what I have are a little more of the common ones and what I generally like to look for when I'm out hunting. Alrighty, so here's what I've gathered here today for the different prong types I have. What we got here, we'll do a little rundown. We got a DAF visor insignia. This is a diamond for Hitler Youth Dagger. We got a here. We got for a here shooting lanyard. We got a very rare Tino Eagle, a fairly pretty rare NSKK visor eagle. We got a Red Cross visor eagle, and we got a NSBO visor. So where we're going to look at, these are our first ones we're going to look at, and these are what I like to call the cut variety. And we'll show it right on this. What you'll notice is a slant, nice cut there. And that is something you always like to see, is that sharp. It's sharp, it's not super sharp, but that nice slanted cut, and that's always what I like to see. We can see it on this DAF one. There you go, much better. Yes, this is so much easier than showing it up to the camera. Now you're seeing this nice slant there. It's almost like something you could scrape with. And that's always what I like seeing when looking at prongs. We'll move on to the next style. And this one here, this is one that does not have, it's missing a prong. Like I said, that doesn't affect the value a whole lot. I have two visors in my collection that have one prong, and as long as you aren't like taking them around everywhere, they'll stay there on your shelf or however you're displaying it. And what I like to see on this one, this is a perfect one to show for example, is we're going to look at the prong here. It's almost like a copperish material, but these ones are a lot more flexible than the next style I'll show you. But you'll notice how the prongs are kind of cut a little bit. They're pointed. You see how the angle, they're like pointed, cut on there. That's something you like to always look. And the biggest thing you can look for is the connection. This is perfect for showing the how they're connected, because the metal is basically not inverted, but exoverted, whatever you want to call it. Can't think of a good term. Where it holds the prong in. So you look for these spots. They will. A lot of these tin pressed visor eagles will have this kind of style of connection point, except for there are ones where the pin will literally be soldered on, so it'll look like melted metal. And that is a thing. Several years ago when I got one, I was not fully sure when I first got it, if it was real or not, and I asked some of my guys, and it is a thing where it's fully melted on there. And since then, I found several examples. I don't have any in my collection to show you today. And here's another example. This is actually sold to a good friend of mine, and he loves this kind of stuff, and I always like finding it for him. This is an Assman maker marked shooting lanyard, and this is the same thing where you can see the connection points where it's that extroverted connection point, and the same type of prongs where they're easy malleable and have the nice pointed kind of like cuts on them. I know it's really hard to see on the camera. Let's look at another style here, and these I see more in the early. We're kind of moving. We're starting from like the later war to kind of the early war ones, and these prongs you'll notice are almost perfectly cylindrical, and they are still, once again, they're still kind of pointed and cut on the end, but still has the same connection points. This is a really rare bird. You do not see these ones often. I just got this one too. Really glad to have this one in my collection. And it's the same thing with SK1. This is also a really rare one. I didn't know it was rare when I first got it, but come to find out they are a rare bird. They go for around $180 or so. The Tino, I'm not sure. I haven't been able to find another one to compare a price to. But it's the same thing where it has really nice connection points and the straight, harder. Like I said, you don't really want to mess time with bending these because you could break them easier. And let's go to the Red Cross one. So this is one, I've really only seen this style in the Red Cross. There is another one. It's similar to the slanted one in the very beginning, but it's not sharp. It's very lightly done. And I've really only seen these ones in the Red Cross. And there's basically like a straight bar. How it is, it's like a bar of it, and it just bends up. And I've only seen these ones in the Red Cross. Unfortunately, I don't know a whole lot of information about these ones. I do know it's an original period one, but you just don't see these ones as often. And I've had a lot of Red Cross Eagles, and a lot of them do have just that style. Last but not least, we have the NSBO. And well, this is interesting. These are always like early war, and what you see here are these, we'll call them square, like perfectly square. They aren't pointed. They're perfectly square. They are similar to the Red Cross one in some sense, where they're just the bar of metal. And these, I have another eagle that has one, and actually I actually have it pulled out. The NSKOV eagle, and it's the same situation where it has those square ones, and as you can see, this one's just like soldered into place very lightly. Like I said, there's heavy solder where it actually will melt some of the metal onto the eagle. And those are, you don't see those often. So yeah, these are just a quick rundown on the type of prongs I like to look for. We are going to have a video later on where I talk about a little more maybe the pressed metal and different things I like to see when I'm looking at visor eagle besides the prongs. But generally when you're looking at visor insignia, the prongs are the first thing to go to. Let's look at one more item. I almost forgot. I had it on the edge of the table, and that's the crim shield. When you're looking at a crim shield, like I said, it has cloth, which is nice, so you can blacklight test it. That's the video I'm working on. I was struggling with building it or recording it earlier, but you can blacklight test it. And then you look on the back, and what you see are these prong points. They should all have some sort of prong similar to this. And like I said, so it's nice cut, sharp prongs there, and that's something that, like I said, when I see that, I'm like, okay, that item looks really good. Of course, I look at it a little bit more, but generally those prongs, that's what I like to see in items. And it's real quick to notice the reproduction if the prongs just don't match up. And then, of course, if something's a reproduction, it's not just going to be the prongs that are gross. It's going to be the whole piece. You're going to notice all sorts of details. And as we go through the series of identifying stuff, especially when we get more of the metal work, because, you know, these are not the same as a metal, but some of the processes of how they're made, and I do want to go more in depth into that. Some of the processes on how they're made can really tell you what's real and what's not, just based off of looking at it. So once again, thank you for tuning in.